Alright, so as I mentioned in the camera pole fabric hobble video, if I got it done in time enough, I was going to do a video tour of my kayak and all the accessories. So here we go. Alright, starting back here, there is a small hatch right here that I suppose you could use for dry storage. Unfortunately, it goes into pretty much everywhere, so you're going to lose things if you actually do use it. I don't use it. I use it as a grab point for picking the kayak up from the rear because the one handle is offset. Here's the crate. This isn't where it normally goes. It's back further right now because the kayak cart is in here. There you can see the kayak cart. I have this one rope here on right now, and these are what I use to get the kayak cart into the kayak by myself. I have one on each pipe that sticks up, and I lay the cart on the ground right behind the kayak, run these up through the scupper holes, lift up on the kayak, pull up on the ropes, and pulls the pipes of the kayak cart up into the scupper holes. And then once I have it in there, I use these threaded T's on the ends of the pipes to secure it in case if I'm ever in rough terrain pulling it so they don't, for some ungodly reason, come flying out of there. We got the hog trough right here mounted into the crate. I made a tether for it so I don't lose it. I've got a tether for the crate too, just to hook it onto the bungee, but that's long enough to reach up to the seat for me. And this is held in there with a set of I believe they are Yak Attack hog trough mounts that are bolted to the milk crate there. And then on the back side of the crate here I have 3 pieces of PVC for rod holders. Moving forward, here we have the seat. This is the original seat with a custom cover that we made ourselves for it. It is made out of black vinyl. Made my own orange straps for the sides of the seat. And these are just held on in place with straps over the original seat back and the original seat base. So nothing's really changed there other than custom cover over it with some extra padding in there for a little bit more cushion. And you got your rudder control right here. I don't actually have the rudder hooked up to them right now. But here you've got your rudder control. Right here is the original from the factory paddle holster right here. I picked up some add-on kayak paddle holders. I unfortunately have already broke this one loading it onto the truck, so it doesn't work too great anymore. Up here I mounted this cup holder onto the center cover here. That's bolted through there with a bolt-on ball mount there from Ram. This is a auto leveling cup holder. So I've got that mounted there. Got the Raymarine Dragonfly 7 Pro right here. And that's on a small Ram dog bone, so I can adjust that however I want to. Got these rod holders here on. These are also on the gear tracks, so I can position them wherever I want to. These are the Ramrod 2007 rod holders. I've not used them for trolling yet, so I don't know how sturdy they are for that. I mean, it's got a little bit of give here on this, but up here it's pretty solid. You've got a good positive rod lock there for securing your rod in there. That's good positive lock on that. That's not going to come off unless you lift it up over. I don't have the drive unit in right now, just for the purpose of the demonstration of the walkthrough of the kayak. I don't feel it was necessary to have that in there. So a little farther forward, you've got these 2 compartments here on the Pescador Pilot. This one, I have the battery for the fish finder in here, along with all the extra cable. I took some small pieces of foam, glued them in place to help hold it so it's not bouncing around too much, so that's good and secure in there now. And these lids have little cutouts for the cables to go through, so you don't have to do any cutting. There's no cutting and no drilling necessary. Up here you've got the front storage compartment with the little fancy cover here, which develops the elastic cord on it. I added this little piece of paracord here for tethering my tackle bags to, so that if for some reason I was to flip this kayak over, I would not lose them. All the way up here I've got two pieces of rope like this that I've made up real quick. Just loop them around here. If I need to tie off to a dock or a pier or whatever, if I need to get out on shore, tie the rope off to a tree so my kayak don't float away on me. Now around to the other side, you've got another compartment identical to the other side. And in this compartment here, I've got all kinds of different things. I carry a selection of Allen wrenches, a screwdriver, for if I ever need to do an on the water repair, which I have had to do one minor repair on the water. I've got these foam golf balls that I picked up at Dick's Sporting Goods that fit perfectly in the scupper holes for plugging them up if I so choose. And I also keep, here's the other orange rope for the kayak cart for pulling it up in. I throw the T's for locking the kayak cart in here, and the other dock tie off rope I also have in here as well. And I usually carry a pair of gloves in here for whatever reason. If I ever happen to need to pick something up that's absolutely nasty, I can throw the gloves on. That's all just gets tossed in there. Here we've got another rod holder identical to the one on the other side, the Ramrod 2007. I have a whole bunch of tethers here that I have made up for tethering rods, tackle bags, whatever I need to feel like tying off that I don't want to lose. So I can tie anything off I want to. Got all kinds of those there. And inside the crate I carry all different kinds of things in here. Started carrying some heavy duty black trash bags for picking up after all the slobs. Got one of these metal stringers in there for if I ever get on some decent crappies or walleyes and I want to keep a couple of them. I can clip them on here and take them home to eat them. Right now I've got my little ice jig box for panfish, and I've got another little box with some bobbers and little sinkers for panfish. Got a couple spools of fluorocarbon in there for leaders. All kinds of other stuff gets stuffed in there, just whatever odds and ends. That'll get stuffed in there. Down here we have the rudder deploy cable system, which I have switched mine out. These were originally black, and I switched them out with orange paracord to match all the rest of the orange stuff on the kayak. The orange bungees on the front and back, and the orange gear tracks are factory. So I figured, why not switch these out with orange paracord to make them look a little bit cooler, be different from all the rest of them. Down here we have my anchor trolley that I fabbed up completely myself. This consists of 3 deck loops, 2 pulleys, and 2 zigzag cleats, and 2 sections of paracord. And I have 1 cleat on each side of this deck loop here. This is the dead center of the entire trolley from front to back. So when I first made it, I did not have this loop here, and I only had 1 zigzag cleat on it. But the way the kayak is shaped and the way I had it positioned, this rope kept sliding up too far and kept getting in the way of these cables for the rudder deploy. So my solution was to add a third deck loop right here in the dead center, add a second zigzag cleat on this side. So these run all the way right to the middle, and they both run from one end, either all the way to the front or all the way to the back. So I'm able to have the cleats here at the middle, get my anchor drop down, run the line for the anchor through the cleat, get it tied off, and then if I want my anchor to the rear of the kayak, I'll put it on this one and run the line all the way until it stops, putting the anchor at the rear of the kayak, and if I want it on the front, I'll put it on the other one and run it up to the front. So I can have the anchor anywhere from all the way at the rear of the kayak, anywhere up the middle, all the way up to the front. I added a deck loop right here for clipping whatever I want to clip onto it. I have a flow troll minnow bucket that I made a leash for, and that gets clipped onto here for crappie and walleye fishing, taking live minnows out. So I usually clip that there. Back here we have the newest addition, the Fabricable camera pole, made out of 1-inch PVC and some various fittings, which if you did not see the video on that, I'll have that linked in the description below. This is modular setup. There's a connection here. This unscrews, so this can be taken down. Seems to be a little bit more sturdier than my last setup that I had. Now we've got obviously the GoPro up here, and this is on a regular GoPro clip mount, whatever kind of mount you want to call this. So this is on a standard GoPro mount that I screwed into there and double-sided tape, and so that's pretty secure. And I also made this piece for the camera pole, which is so that I can use the camera that I'm currently recording with on the kayak, which is just 2 more fittings and a piece of pipe that I put a slight bend in it so that I can get an angle, so that the camera will be angled down slightly, so that I actually get good stuff in frame instead of being just shooting out to the sky. I haven't tested this bend yet, but I think just by eyeballing it, it should be pretty decent. If not, I can always heat it up again and bend it some more. So there's that. That is all of the camera pole. I think we've covered just about everything on here. I am very satisfied with this kayak so far. I haven't had any issues with it. It's a great kayak, very stable, tracks very well through the water. That's about it. So that concludes the video walk-around tour of my Pescador Pilot kayak. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing the little things that I have made and little modifications that I have done to my kayak to make it my own. And maybe they have given you some ideas of some things that you can do to your kayak to make yours your own. So thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next episode of Johnny G Outdoors.